Shikada Natsu is an aspiring manga artist, but Yo, his father, insists he take over the family sweet shop, Shikada Sweets, as has been tradition for generations. An eccentric girl, Shidare Hotaru, arrives at Shikada Sweets and introduces herself as the daughter of the owner of a massive sweet and snack manufacturing company. She challenges Natsu to come up with a flavorful combination for umaibo, a puffed corn snack known for its often weird and strange flavors. Natsu displays an uncanny ability for coming up with delicious combinations and ideas, impressing Hotaru. His father returns and teases him over his new girlfriend. He's disheartened, however, when she says her only love is Pocky, a snack mascot. She invites Yo to work at her father's company, but he declines, unless Natsu agrees to take over the family business. Hotaru is disappointed that Natsu refuses to take over the business despite his innate talent, pledges to convince him otherwise. Later, at Endo Cafe, he recounts to his friend Tao about his experience with Hotaru earlier today. When he describes her as hot, this angers Saya, unaware that she has feelings for him. She forces him to drink coffee overflowing with sugar cubes, but he does so happily. He gives her coffee milk candies, knowing that she does not like sweets. She takes it anyway, leading to her brother Tao teasing her, with disastrous results. Saya later encounters Hotaru, who has fallen into a rice paddy. She brings her home so she can shower, and she ends up meeting Tao as well. At her cafe, Hotaru tells Saya of her vague mission at their small town. Hotaru visits Shikada Sweets and finds Natsu tending the store. She tells him it's a waste for him not to inherit the family store, as their shop sells both classic snacks and more obscure titles. She singles out soybean flour sticks, where in a world of flashy mascots and catchy slogans, they alone insist on nothing but a simple brand name. After coming up with ways to eat it without spilling the flour, Hotaru tells Natsu that they should become adults. This gives him the wrong idea, but she pulls out Naimaiki beer, a tablet that when dissolved in water gives it the appearance and taste of beer. Hotaru becomes drunk despite it being non-alcoholic. Later, when Saya and Natsu lounge outside the shop, they hear a distinct whistling sound, which is the result of Hotaru blowing into a Ramoon candy. Saya displays her excitement for it, especially the accompanying toy. Hotaru tells a story of how the first hold candy was the whistling gum, but it took over 20 years for whistling candy to be created. The story was an allegory for Natsu and his refusal to take over Shikada Sweets. When Saya realizes that if Natsu does not take over the shop, she will not see him anymore, she supports Hotaru's cause. They later play Men Natsu, a card game wherein a player flips over another card by striking it with their own, keeping the card. Saya displays an unusual aptitude for the game, prompting Hotaru to show off her double card attack. When Saya manages to perform the feat of flipping 3 cards at once, Hotaru calls her master, while Natsu drops to his knees in awe. On a hot summer day, Hotaru bursts into the store and turns off the air conditioner to Natsu's chagrin. She brings out Butterman cup noodles and insists on eating it in the hottest environment possible. After Tao and Natsu witness the oddly erotic atmosphere brought about by the sweltering heat and sweat, Tao passes out. Hotaru is convinced to turn off the heater, but when the air conditioner fails to start, they decide to head to the pool. Tao and Natsu are excited to see the girls in their swimsuits, but run into Yo working as a lifeguard instead. He explains that their shop alone does not bring in enough money to keep it running. Saya soon appears, as does Hotaru, who attracts stares from the boys. They jump into the pool where Yo and Hotaru have cleverly planted Kuru Kuru Boo jelly. The two plan to have Natsu enjoy both the snacks and the pool. The sweet shop's financial situation was just a ruse to have him feel pity. However, they neglect to realize that eating at the pool is forbidden, and their plan is ruined. The next day, Hotaru enters the shop to find Tao tending it instead. She decides to wait there for Natsu and asks Tao about his favorite snack. When he declines to give any, he asks for hers instead, but her vague answer leads him to remark that sweets are all the same. Hotaru is taken aback, assuming he is merely testing her. He brings out Bantaname, a candy he is unaware has an edible wrapper. Natsu finally arrives, but Hotaru tells him to wait as she throws the Bantaname straight into Tao's mouth, and he is greeted by its refreshing flavor. While Hotaru and Tao set up the new air conditioner, he tells Hotaru to hang out with Saya at her cafe. She asks her regarding her relationship with Natsu, and frustrated that she has never seen Saya eat any sweets, she brings out candy sticks called 7 Neon. Saya is impressed by Hotaru's trivia knowledge of candy, and they spend their time chatting happily. Hotaru challenges Natsu to a blind taste test of fugashi, a snack made of wheat gluten and sugar. There are many varieties of fugashi, differing in size, texture, and packaging, making it the perfect point of competition. Natsu agrees, not wanting to lose to anything candy-related. To his surprise, Hotaru not only manages to guess the candy brand, but also the kind of packaging as well. The two go head-to-head, with neither guessing incorrectly. With only a few fugashi left, Natsu brings out a massive fugashi, which Hotaru has trouble fitting into her mouth, and to his surprise, she guesses it correctly as Sakura Bo, a snack native to Shizuoka. A parched Hotaru goes out to buy milk, leaving behind a blindfolded and tied up Natsu. His dad arrives home first, who misunderstands the kind of activity he and Hotaru are doing. The next day, Tao scribbles on Natsu's sketches of Saya and Hotaru, giving them an even flatter and bigger chest, respectively. When he arrives home, he realizes that he left behind his notebook and fears that Saya will see it and kill him. Hotaru pulls out Glico caramels, said to give you the energy to run great distances. They each pop them as they sprint back towards the cafe, but on the last leg they grind to a halt, having run out of caramels. Hotaru tosses him her last piece, enabling him to carry on, but he arrives too late as Saya has already seen the drawings and his death sentence is carried out. Natsu finds his father and Hotaru consuming bin ramune, a powdered candy. Although he enjoys the candy and Hotaru's trivia regarding it, the fact remains that his father appears to be going through an addiction of the candy, especially since he was supposed to be selling it. Yo goes out to detox, accompanied by Hotaru. Natsu decides to sleep, but he awakens to hear his father recording a YouTube video of him reviewing snacks in hopes of getting extra revenue. Yo decides to perform a test recording of him reviewing Baby Star Ramen, dried instant noodles with flavoring. But Natsu points out he's missing a very important part of the review, including its history, details about their mascots, and the hidden meaning behind the star in the package, which is their goal of becoming the best snack for children. His passionate speech is uploaded onto YouTube, gaining traction among snack enthusiasts. The next day, Natsu and Tao lament their lack of funds. Hotaru gives them an idea of how to make an easy money by winning voucher prizes from Yada Men Snacks. On their first round, Natsu and Tao win 100 yen and 20 yen respectively, but Hotaru wins nothing. She opens several hundred more, but her luck remains poor. They then learn that she has never won a single prize from any snack in her life. In a last-ditch effort, she suggests they have a sour grape match, a candy wherein one of the 3 grape candies are extremely sour. She wagers Natsu's succession to the shop on the line, while she says she will do anything if she loses. But as expected, she ends up eating the sour grape, and she runs out in tears. Natsu, Tao, and Saya are called by Hotaru to the local shrine to play with Super Himo Q, a long gummy snack. They use it to play tug of war, while Saya uses it to make an image of Tokyo Tower. Hotaru begins to swing one wildly while explaining its origins, highlighting how it was once near a fraction of its current length. The Himo Q rips apart, and Natsu's body moves on its own to snatch it before it hits the ground. Afterwards, they play Ohajiki, a game similar to marbles. Saya begins racking up several wins, and Hotaru invites her to work at Shikada Sweets, explaining that her aptitude for children's games makes her a perfect fit for the environment. The prospect flusters Saya, who might jump at the chance to spend more time with Natsu. Incensed that she has yet to win a single Ohajiki, Hotaru pulls out an ishikiri, an extremely large piece, hoping to secure her victory, but it drops to the floor and breaks. The next day, Saya recounts of how often she visited Natsu in their childhood. In one instance, she finds him raving about a candy called yogurette, a snack with nutritional value. They end up playing doctor, but she becomes annoyed that he refrains from physical contact with her, administering yogurette as medicine. During an operation, Natsu tears up when the yogurette runs out. Saya tries to cheer him up, but they both end up falling to the ground, where they exchange a tensed look. Back in the present, Saya is embarrassed to have recalled such a memory, but expects Natsu to have forgotten it by now. She enters Shikada Sweets, intending to take up Hotaru's offer of working there, but she and Natsu become embarrassed when she pulls out yogurette. Saya hurriedly leaves, but is happy that Natsu remembers it too. While setting up for the annual festival, Tamai, an Onatsu no Miyaki shop owner, demands that Yo stop selling monjayaki at his stall. He threatens to stop supplying his Baby Star Ramen to her shop, and the two reconcile. While reluctantly helping his father out at their monjayaki stall, Saya arrives, dressed in a yukata. When Yo sees her saddened that Natsu is too busy, he tells him to check out the other stalls as an excuse. Saya shows her thanks by bowing, while Tao, grateful for his help, offers to take over for Natsu. He compliments her yukata, and she is glad she went through the effort of wearing it. The pair go out and enjoy the festival, eating various foods and playing games. At the goldfish scooping stall, Natsu offers to get her a goldfish, claiming he has a secret technique to catch it. However, his scooper breaks every time, and Saya remembers when he tried the same thing in their childhood. The stall owner felt bad for him, so he gave him a goldfish as a consolation prize, the same goldfish that resides at the Endo Cafe to this day. In the end, Natsu receives another consolation goldfish, and he gives it to Saya, who happily accepts. They encounter Hotaru, who informs them that Tao has become a natural at cooking monjayaki, attracting a huge crowd. A typhoon hits the town, forcing Natsu, Hotaru, Saya, and Tao indoors. Tao begins telling a scary story involving a child and his grandfather, Moreover, Natsu focuses on the fact that the stories are unrealistic, and Hotaru explains that they are all made up by the candy's company. Saya calms down after Hotaru comforts her. But Yo suddenly arrives looking like a ghost, and Saya reverts to her meek disposition. Insisting that kendamas now have become popular, Tao buys two for himself and Natsu. However, the two have difficulty in performing any basic maneuvers. Saya arrives and, nostalgic over the kendamas, begins performing several complex tricks, surprising them. When she points out that they have several at home from the last time Tao thought they were popular, he runs off. Natsu finds him by a riverbank, and Tao explains that he had hoped kendamas would make him popular. To test their luck, he brings out Puchi Puchi fortune chocolates, which are uncannily accurate at predicting both their health and grades. For their last test, they both wish to peep at a girl's underclothes. At that moment, Hotaru calls out to them, and when Natsu says he will return to the shop soon, she leaves, and the two catch a small glimpse under her skirt. The two nod to themselves and remark how accurate the Puchi Puchi chocolates were. Saya meets Hotaru at the shop, who is currently suffering from a mouth ulcer. Although mortified it was likely caused by her over-snacking, she insists on eating watapachi, a candy that pops inside the mouth. The shock of the pain is overwhelming, and Saya feels her pain secondhand. Saya's eye catches a snack called chocolate droppings, which, as its name suggests, is designed in a way that the chocolates come out of an animal's container's rear end. When Saya tries to point out the rather indecent nature of the snack, Hotaru proceeds to pretend it's something fancy, but completely ignoring the fact that they're droppings. Saya ends up liking the chocolates, but is irked when Hotaru calls them eggs instead. Natsu arrives at the store to see Hotaru curiously eating rice. She goes on to explain that as someone from Osaka, her Kansai dialect often slips out, especially when seeing unexpected things, such as sakura dainatsuen, which is not usually found in her city. She begins eating it with rice and talks about how certain snacks can be eaten with rice. She leaves before saying she's not actually from Osaka, leaving him confused. She soon returns asking him if he likes boobs. He tries to give her a safe answer, but when she turns to leave, he declares his love for them. She throws him a boob ice cream, but as he tries to bite it open, it has already melted. The two begin arguing regarding its actual name, as he has called it a bomb ice cream all his life. She decides to try it for herself, but the ice cream explodes all over her face and clothes. They shake hands as Natsu comes to realize she calls it boob ice cream. Natsu finds it strange that Hotaru has not visited the Shikada sweets shop in 2 days. He pays a visit to Saya to inquire to her whereabouts, and she suggests a trip to her house. When they arrive at her lavish mansion built specifically for her, they find her in a visibly sorry state. For some reason, she's adverse to looking at Natsu. She faints, and as they bring her into the room, they suspect she might have a fever. Natsu brings out a bag full of snacks from his shop in order to cheer her up, but she strangely wants nothing to do with the snacks. After several desperate attempts to get her to perk up, Saya asks her why she's holding back. She reveals that her mouth ulcer has gotten significantly worse as a result of her heavy snacking. Recently, she has been anticipating the latest flavor of Baby Star Ramen, and after using fortune chocolates, she finds out that she is cursed with bad luck all around, save for one, taking a trip. She then sets out into town, where after hours of running she encounters Tao, who suggests to her to simply take a break from snacking so she can fully enjoy the new snack. Natsu and Saya are relieved that Hotaru was only behaving this way because she loved snacks so much. However, she suddenly undergoes withdrawal and tries to grab some snacks, but the two manage to restrain her in time for her next dose of medicine. To Natsu's chagrin, the medicine is not medicine at all, but a mix of several powdered soda found in Shikada sweets. The two feel stupid for being worried and leave. Natsu and Saya wonder why Yo was targeted for recruitment by the Shidare Company. She explains he was chosen to head up a new snack shop the company was creating. They hide inside a box to observe Yo as he works. To Natsu's dismay, his father does nothing but slack off, and he considers taking over the shop, believing himself to be more capable. Saya is glad. If Yo works for Shidare, then Natsu is bound to stay in her town. Suddenly, 2 elementary schoolers enter the store, with the boy hoping to buy gum for the girl he likes. Unfortunately, he only has money for one. Yo has him open the wrapper for a chance to win another piece, and when he loses, Yo lies and says he won another piece, bringing the two kids closer together. Hotaru explains that a snack shop is more than a recreational store. It's a place to build connections between customers and shopkeeper. When Natsu sees his father open one of his manga manuscripts, he angrily reveals himself to his father. The next day, while waiting for a train, Hotaru says she wants to suck on it and invites Natsu to do the same. He is understandably excited, but a wave of disappointment washes over him when she pulls out Miya Natsu Natsumbu instead. After discussing its history as the innovation of an old shop apprentice, she greedily chugs down a bottle of Ramoon. She offers Natsu a drink, and when he realizes it's an indirect kiss, he becomes flustered. After he gives a rather simplistic explanation of Ramun's origins as a byproduct of Japanese opening its borders to the West, Hotaru goes further and claims it's the whole reason why Japan agreed to it in the first place. She remarks that it's been a long time since she's been on a snack trip, as she has always stayed in their town longer than expected. She acknowledges that he has dreams of his own, and she will not pressure him into inheriting the shop. But if he ever changes his mind, he should tell her, and she will be waiting. She boards the train as it arrives, but Natsu neglects to as well. To be more popular with girls, Natsu shows Tao another fortune-telling snack. He offers Tao the first pick, but to his shock, he receives 2 pink candies, which the fortune's saying he will be more popular tomorrow. Natsu appeals with him to put it back, but Tao eats them both. He was guessed he went first to bolster Natsu's own chances of getting a pink candy. However, he reassures him that he would have done the same thing, and he hands him a pink candy. He only pretended to eat both. Meanwhile, Hotaru asks Saya if she wants a taste of love, which she interprets as a kiss. To her surprise, Hotaru feeds her a cherry-flavored candy. They descend the mountain to see the boy celebrating wildly. Saya asks why cherries are symbolic of love, to which Hotaru replies that the saying is love is both sweet and sour. She asks her in return if she's ever had such a feeling, but she denies it. The next day, Natsu wonders if his indecisiveness over taking over the shop is keeping Hotaru trapped in town. Suddenly, she enters the cafe, where she snacks on milk caramels. Natsu excitedly talks about its history, highlighting how it was advertised as a substitute for cigarettes to encourage the Japanese to try dairy products, to which they were naturally averse to. Tao points out that Hotaru's face says that something's missing, and he points out that one of its flavors bears his name, coconut. She is impressed and leaves, and Tao encourages him to go after her. The two meet under the bus stop during a downpour, and he opens her tin of Sakuma drops using a coin. He later asks her if his indecision is holding her back, and she reassures him that she can go anytime she wants. Although it is true, she goes to his shop every day to try and convince him to inherit it, because she says the primary reason is because it's fun. As the sky clears, Hotaru calls for him to come along, and the two head back to Shikada Sweets.